Hello everyone, this is Akash Chauhan again, and in today's lecture we will talk about the binary representation of the negative integer, or uh, we will also discuss about the signed or unsigned integer in detail at the binary format level, so that we can understand how the memory stores the different types of data in the memory. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start with the integer, so that later on we will discuss about the signed or unsigned part of. Actually, the integer is divided into two parts: the signed and the unsigned. Okay, so we, as we generally know, the integer is something like that. In C++, we write integer like this, equal to 10. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous lecture, that if we don't write anything here, then the data will be stored a as a signed integer, or even if you write signed here, it will uh, it will be considered as the same. So this signed option, this keyword is optional, right? But if you write, so this, let's say, if it is a sign, let's store a negative number, then we have to write unsigned here. So this unsigned keyword is mandatory. Okay, so this is the basic about the signed integer or unsigned integer. So guys, this is about the basics of unsigned integer. Okay, so let's discuss in detail about these things. So the very I should mention this: you don't need to focus on the things in the slide apart from what we are not discussing right now. Okay, we will discuss each and everything one by one, so you just need to connect with me what I am trying to discuss with you guys, right? Okay guys, now let's discuss the integer. I have discussed this earlier as well, that integer is divided into two parts: the signed integer and the unsigned integer. But before discussing these two types, let's discuss the binary format representation of an integer, how it looks like, and how to write a binary format for an integer. Okay, you generally don't write it. The program, the your computer responsibility is there to convert your what you write in a compiler. Your compiler job is to give that code to the CPU, and it would always be converted into the binary format so that the machine can understand what you have written. So it is not your job, but you must be able to differentiate uh, what are the different format of your data types. Okay, so let's say in C++ the integer is 4 bytes long, 1 byte is 8 bits long. It means it would become 32 bits long. Okay, 32 bits long means the binary format 32 bits. 1 bit, either it can be 0 or it can be 1. It can be 0 and it can be 1. So the binary representation of that would be the number of boxes would be 32 bits. It means 32 bits we have, but if the indexing is started from 0, then it would go till 31. Okay, okay, let's discuss the next thing. If it is 1 bit, it means it can be 0, it can be 1. It cannot be both 1 0 or 0 1. Okay, it is 1 bit, so it will always be either 0 or 1. So at each and every bit, either we have 0 or 1. Okay, we have two possibilities for each and every bit we have. Okay, so if you have I am assuming that you must have studied the permutation combination as well. So how many values we can generate, the binary values we can generate out of 0 and 1? So if this place is 2, if this place is 2, and we have 32 such places, then the value would be 2 to power n, means 2 to power 32. We have two choices at each place, and we have such n places. So in that case, we have 32 such places. Okay, n is the number of places and 2 is the number of choices we have at that place. Okay, it will get multiplied. uh, okay, so the number of possible values we can generate out of this format is 2 to power 32, because we have 32 bits, and at each and every choice, if we have 2 to power 32, sorry, at each and every bit we have two choices. In case if we have, let's say, 10 choices at this place, then what would be the possible values? In that case, the values would be 10 ki power 32, because at each and every place we have 10 values, okay, and we have 32 such bits, okay, then the permutation combination would look like this, okay. But we don't need to focus on that part, we need to focus on the number of possible values, okay. So how to generate the minimum value? If we write 0 at each and every bit, then it definitely would be the minimal value, right? If we write 1 at each and every bit, then it would be the maximum value. So if we write 0 at each and every bit, it would produce 0. If we write 1 at each and every bit, it will produce 2 to the power 32 minus 1. But I am sure that you guys might be thinking why it is 2 to the power 32 minus 1. So for that, if so I will explain you about this range, like to why it is 2 to the power 32 minus 1. But let's understand, if this is true, then the range of minimum of maximum of an integer would be 0 to till this point, and the total values would be 2 to the power 32 using this permutation combination formula, okay. So now let's discuss why the maximum value would always come to 2 to the power 32 minus 1. So let's do some work. So let's say we have a 8-bit data, okay, 8 bits data. Generally the integer is 4 bytes, but for our conveniences, I'm assuming a small binary bit format. So let's say we write 1 in each and every block. So this is okay. So this is actually the wrong representation of the indexing. For the binary representation, it is always like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So if it is 8 bits long, we are assuming if it's 8-bit long, and this is saying that at this bit this is 1, this is present, it means whatever the bit is there, this bit is present, this bit is also present, okay. So generally, to know what is the value it will make is generally this value would always be 2 ki power 0. 2 ki power 0 means, I'll tell you, if you know, if it is true, it means it will produce 1. It is saying 2 ki power 0 means this index would come here and the choices we have is 2. So in the same fashion, I'll write this for each and every bit. It would become, let me change the color of my pen. So it will become 2 ki power 1 and 2 ki power 2, 2 ki power 3, 2 ki power 4, 2 ki power 5, 2 ki power 6, 2 ki power 7. Okay. If you want to calculate, let's say, um uh, this is for each and every bit is 1, but let's say only this bit is 1. For example, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So in that case, you are saying only this index, this 0 index is true. So in that case, if it is true, then how to calculate the data? It means for every multiply, this is the indexer, okay, and there would also be the multiplier to calculate the value. So to do so, we have 0 cross 2 ki power 7 plus, in the same fashion it will go with the, because it's a 0 at the end, it would become 1 cross 2 ki power 0, and eventually the value would come, 2 ki power 0 is actually 1, okay, this is 1 itself, and 1 cross 1 multiply 1, and rest would become 0. Why? Because at each and every place the bit is 0, so the result would become 1. So this is This is how to map a binary to a decimal. Okay, let's talk about this bit format now. So we are saying that 2 key power 0 is 1. Okay, that is what you are trying to say, right? So you are saying this bit is present, 2 key power 1 is also present. Okay, and at the end 2 key power 7 is also present. I hope you understood this. If it is, we have two choices, right? It can be 0 or 1. In this case it is 1, then we have to choose it is present, this bit is present in the permutation combination, right? So guys, if you remember in mathematics, there is a formula to calculate the sum of the powers of 2. Okay, so the formula is simple. The formula is this: the sum of 2 key power k from 0 to n, it will result 2 key power n plus 1 minus 1. So in our case, the data is, let me discuss. The k starts from 0 and the n is 7. Why n is 7? Because it will go till 2 ki power 7. So the n is 7. It will go from 0 to 7. So it will result in 2 ki power, what we have written here, 2 ki power 7. uh, I'm writing from here, I think you would understand better. 2 ki power 0 plus 1 cross, because we have chosen 1 at this bit, 2 ki power 1, and so on. Okay, so this is actually representing the sum of 2 key power n or k. Okay, then it will result in what? 2 key power n plus 1. So 2 key power n is 7, we have plus 1. Okay, and we need to minus 1 out of that, so it would become 2 key power 8 minus 1. We can calculate in an easy trick as well. As I said, we have total permutation combination is 2 ki power 32. Okay, and these are the total numbers we can generate. Okay, so if we have chosen 0 as a minimum number, then the maximum number would be this number minus this number. Definitely that would be the maximum. So 2 ki power 32 minus 1 would be that maximum number we can generate out of that binary format. We have chosen 8 as a initial way. It is not the standard way to write integer. Standard way is to write 32. So we have chosen 8 as a for our convenience. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so we have understood why it is 32 ki power 32 minus 1. Okay, because 2 ki power n plus 1 minus 1. So in that case, n is 31. It would become 2 ki power 32 minus 1. So we are clear with the range and the total. Let's discuss the differences between the signed integer and the unsigned integer. Okay, this is the crucial point. So integer is divided into two parts. Let's discuss. Both are 32 bits long. Uh, in case of signed, we have to choose either signed. It is optional, but in case of unsigned, it is necessary to use this keyword. In case of signed integer, the first bit is reserved here is as a signed bit, and the rest of the bits are data bit, 7 data bits. But in case of unsigned, all the bits are data bit. There is no such signed bit. So that is what I have written. First bit is reserved for positive and negative number. But in case of unsigned, there is no such reserved bit. All bits are used to generate positive whole number. Okay. So if 0 and 1, if this place is reserved, we cannot use it for the data bit as a data bit. And this is actually to understand the binary format. Okay. So if we have only 7 choices, we have 2 choices at each and every place, and we have such 7 choices, then what would be the possibilities of out of these numbers? 2 ki power 7. Okay, so this is, we are clear. So we are talking about the signed integer where we are not including the signed bit. So in case of positive, in case of positive, This sign bit is 0. In case of negative, it is 1. So we are not including this bit. We will talk about these 7 bits. So for case of this positive number, it is 0. We cannot change it. We can only calculate the value out of these 7 bits. So let's say we have written 0 at each and every places of all these 7 bits. Then the data would be 0, right? In that case, if we have written 1 1 1 each and every out of all these 7 places, then again the formula to keep power n, if you calculate is 0 1 2 to 6, okay, then the formula would return you to give power n plus 1. So n is 6, 6 plus 1 7 minus 1. So this is the range. Let's say you have chosen 1 over here, then what are the possibilities? The numbers are actually divided into two parts. So if you write, let's say if you chosen 1 over here, in a layman term I can say, let's say 1 is here, and what are the possibilities again? 2 keep power 7, right? 2 keep power 7 possibilities we have. So for the negative number we have chosen 0 over here, then we cannot include minus 0. Is there is no such thing as a minus 0. So the number would start from minus 1 and it will go till 2 power minus 7. Why? Because in this case we have chosen 1, so it will go minus 1 limit. The indexing is started from 0, so the limit is 2 power 7 minus 1. But here the indexing is started from minus 1, then it will reach to the power 7. Okay, so this is the basics about how many numbers we can generate out of this pattern. So one more thing, generally the integer is 32-bit long. Here we have considered it 8-bit long just for our convenience, so guys don't get confused. Okay, like some of you would be asking me why we have taken 8-bit or something like that. It is just to we can manage in a paper. 32-bit is a quite large number. Okay, that's why we have chosen 8 bits long. Here, if we talk about the positive integer, there is no mechanism of 0 or 1 sign integer. So each and every bit is we can use as a data bit. So the range would be again 0. If I place 0 each and every place, it would become 0. If I place 1 each and every place, this would be the maximum limit. Why? It will return to the power n plus 1 minus 1. The formula we have discussed over here. We are using this formula again and again. Okay, this same formula. Okay, so this is about that. Let's discuss the next. What is next? So this is the range. Okay, for the positive, negative, we have this. For the whole number, we have this. So let's talk about these terms in our program. How to write it in our program? We have discussed this theoretically. So in case of minus 1, we can store it in unsigned signed integer. So we don't need to write sign, or if we write sign, there is no problem with that. But in case of unsigned, we have to write. Okay, so we want to store minus 1. So how minus 1 will be stored in the memory binary format? We will see. So this is the format. This bit is fixed, right? We cannot choose it. We cannot change it in case of 0 or 1. It is always fixed. We can only manipulate these 7 bits. So minus 1 cannot be write simply like this is minus 1, because this 1 bit will represent the minus value. Definitely it is true. But if we simply write this is the 1, so we can't we say that this is representing minus and this is representing 1. Okay, so is it not a perfect way? No, the computer cannot understand this. Let's move. I will explain it further, but let's discuss the unsigned as well. So if we want to store 1, so so we are, for our convenience, I have discussed this. I'm considering it's 8-bit. Generally, it's a 4-bit, 4 bytes long. So for 8-bit, if we want to write 1, then what would be the binary format? 0 0 0 0 and 1 over here. Why? Because to keep power 0 over here would return 1. So we just need to write 1 over here, and each and every rest of the places we can write 0 itself. So it would return. So in simple way we can write this, but for the negative numbers we can, because we cannot write like this. For positive number we can write like this, because sorry, for whole number it is okay, but for negative numbers we cannot do that in terms of signed bit. So let's understand this, why we cannot store like this even though I have been telling you that 1 will be considered as a negative number. Definitely it is true. Okay, if there is a 1, then the computer or the program counter would consider this number as a negative number, definitely. Okay, but the for the negative values, the memories, if it is a 1, this data is not the actual value. You must always remember that for negative values, if it is 1, the program counter would know the rest of the data is not the actual data, it is the 2's complement of the actual data. That's why we are saying it's a negative number. So there is a proper way to store a negative number in a memory. So to store a negative number, what we do, let's say we want to store -1, then what to do? uh, Take one binary format, okay, like this. Okay, take 2's complement of that. 2's complement is what? You first need to take a one first complement, 1's complement, and then you need to add 1. It will become 2's complement of that number, and then that number will be stored in the memory as a negative number of that particular number. Okay, so that is what I have written. There is a standard way to store negative values in the memory for the negative values. For the positive, it is same as, like, if it is 0, it would consider, it will know that data types you have used is the signed or unsigned. For if it is unsigned, then it will not be considered as a signed bit. If it is a signed bit, then it will be considered, okay, this would be the positive number. That is okay. But for the negative number I'm talking about, so even if in the signed bit, if you are going to store 1, then the number would be like this. Sorry, the number would be like this. Why? Because this would bit would be reserved as 0, and if the computer would come to 0, it will note two things: is it a signed bit or is it not a signed bit? If it is a signed bit, then it would consider it's a positive number. So read it the way it is written. Okay, but in case of it is 1, then it will consider this is not the actual data. It would be the 2's complement of the actual data. That is what I have written. Okay, so let's try to store -1 in the memory. So this is the -1. So what I'll do, I'll write the binary representation of the respective integer. Write binary format for respective positive integer. I'm not talking about here the -1 right now. So this is the binary representation of 1. So to get the 2's complement, what I'll do, I'll take the first complement or the 1's complement of the data. To do so, what I'll do, I'll just flip the bits. If it says 1, it would be 0. If it's 0, it would be 1. And I have repeated the same with each and every bit. After that, you just need to add 1 to get the actual 2's complement. So this is the 2's complement of this. This will be stored like this in the memory. Okay, and it will eventually be stored in the memory like this. So let's say the computer would come to this point. Okay, it will know, oh, it is 1. Okay, it will ask the compiler, is it a signed data type or unsigned data type? Okay, if it is an unsigned data type, then it will consider this format as whole. It will not consider any reserved bit. But if compiler tells, okay, this is a signed data type, so you must reserve a bit for that. In case of it is 0, it will behave the same as your unsigned data type, except this the data bit would be 7 bits. In case of unsigned integer, the data bits would be 8 bits. So in case it is 1, it then it will know that this is not the actual data, this is the 2's complement of the actual data. So if I want to know the actual data, then you need to get the 2's complement of that, then it will give you minus, it will give you 1. So you would consider this is -1 because it has started from 1. So guys, this is actually about the your how to store a minus value. So this is the same example. This is the binary representation of that. This is the same I have discussed. I'll take the 1's complement like this, then I will add up with the 1's complement like this, and this would become the binary representation of, if you look, if you want your PC to understand -1, then you have to store, or your computer will eventually store this value in the format. So the computer will come to this bit and understand, is it a signed bit? If it is a signed bit, then it is a negative number because the first bit is 1. Let's say if it is not a signed bit, then use each and every bit as to count the number. Okay, so this is the actual difference. What is this? Okay, this is just a rough work. This is not we So guys, this is actually about how to store a negative number in a memory. Okay, I hope now you can start working or on the respective examples related to the sign integer or how to store sign integer. And I'm hoping that you would also write. You must be able to write in your exams as well regarding what is the difference between signed and unsigned, how a computer reads if it's signed or unsigned, how to represent a negative number in a memory, how to store it, and all sorts of things. I think you guys would be able to do it now. So guys, thank you so much for today's lecture. Have a good day.